You know, I love it at the end of movies like these when people try to do the slow clap test. You know, they'll slowly clap their hands to see if anybody else around the theater will follow along. And, you know, clearly if the movie was good and everybody had a good time, audiences will pick it up and you'll hear the clapping and things like that. And if not, the clapping just absurdly stops. And in this situation, it absurdly had to stop. Not saying this movie wasn't good at all, because it was. It was pretty good. It was just, dude, we were sitting in a theater for 3 hours. I saw at least 40 people go to the bathroom during this thing. And I mean, I saw at least 5 run. I mean, people were struggling to sit through this thing, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was a really good movie. But hey, it's just, I think people were upset at the fact that it was 3 hours. Others, like me, I was just processing the film because it was a lot to process. I had to let it sit with me. I've let it sat with me. Now I'm ready to do my review. But just next time you want to clap, man, just think about the length of the movie and, you know, how exciting that entire length was, because it ain't for everybody. But anyway, man, guys, this is Avatar: The Way of the Water. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Avatar: The Way of the Water, starring Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Stephen Lang, Sigourney Weaver, and was directed by none other than James motherfucking Cameron. That's right. Yep, James, you wanted to be special. You wanted to make your little appearances, or, you know, semi-appearances, and just talk about this movie and how you were going to dedicate the next 12 years to making 5 of these things when we weren't even sure what 2, 3, or 4 would even look like. But hey, look, there's your introduction, because you wanted to be so special. Now, granted, I love James Cameron. I respect the hell out of him. Terminator 2, True Lies, all that good stuff, man. James Cameron is a genius. Let's not, you know, get mistaken here. I don't know, man. You know, the whole Avatar thing. I mean, you guys know the story, man. I mean, look, man. I'm gonna rant a little here about, you know, the James Cameron situation, because it took a lot for us to get here. I mean, you all know, if you guys have been following the situation. One, he came out, like, I don't even know how long ago this happened, but he came out years ago saying, you know, he was going to release this film. This film, Avatar 2, he was coming out with a sequel, and we were like, okay. Well, at least I was saying, okay. I didn't necessarily think the movie needed a sequel, because there wasn't really much to go off of, but okay, I was like, I'm down, that's fine, that's cool. Then he decided to do a LeBron James.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
And he decided to, you know, make 5 of these things, and it's like, whoa, slow your roll there, cowboy. You're not even done with 2 yet, and the visual effects literally took 12 years for you to get to the sequel. So he's just, I don't know if he was biting off more than he can chew or not. I mean, at one point, man, we were just, and then not only that, he just kept pushing the dates back for this thing. We didn't know. At this point, Avatar was becoming a rumor. We weren't even sure if we were going to see these movies. And we started to, well, at least I started to look at him as like, the James Cameron is kind of like a Kanye of the movie directing. Not necessarily the Kanye now, but Kanye when he first went crazy. Yeah, just like we all thought, you know, he was going ballistic. But at the same time, it's James Cameron. We can't go against his genius. He has too much, you know, on his resume for us to deny his greatness. But same as Kanye. But I mean, now James Cameron has released this Avatar film, and now we can make a more sensible depiction of what we feel about James Cameron. And Kanye is lost. Kanye is lost forever. But James Cameron is back, and he's here with the Avatar film. And now I'm going to talk about the plot. I'm done with my rant. It's just, it took a long time for us to get here, that's all. But now we are finally here, and our plot is following Jake Sully and his family living peacefully in Pandora until an event happens where the Sky People come down, destroy their home completely, and essentially 1 year later after those events, they are back into a war again where humans are trying to take over Pandora, or they're trying to take their resources from Pandora, and Jake Sully and his family have to live out, you know, in a war again. And at this point, the reincarnation, or as I like to say it, avatarization of Stephen Lang's character, it brings him back into the scene, and he wants all revenge against Jake Sully and his family, so he's out to hunt him down, and that causes Jake to have to move from his current tribe, and they have to move to this new place where we meet different types of avatars. I mean, they're more prone to the water because Jake and them were prone to the forest. So we're moving to a new place, a new setting, and we're discovering Pandora. It feels like all over again because we're reintroduced to this world. We're back in Pandora, feeling all the Pandora vibes, or, you know, looking at all the beautiful sights and things like that, and looking at the amazing CGI characters. But like I said, Jake Sully and his family have to move to this new place, and they learn new ways of life, like ways of the water, you know, etc. And it's the name of the title. And essentially, you know, the film is they're trying to basically run from Stephen Lang and find a way to stay in a home, stay in one place, and just make this thing about family. That's the gist of the story. It's the best way I can describe the plot. And now we are on to what I liked and what I didn't like about the film. So it goes without saying that the special effects in this movie, or the visual effects I should say, the visual effects in this movie are absolutely immaculate. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this movie. I mean, not the entire purpose, but a big purpose of this movie is to show off the groundbreaking visual effects, and everything is just absolutely beautiful. One, it's just nice to be back in Pandora again. I'll say that because I was a really big fan of the first Avatar film. I remember watching it in a very packed theater on Christmas Day. My dad took me and my brother to go see it. It was a very packed theater. We had to sit on the steps to watch this thing, and I really didn't have a problem with that because I was just wowed by what I was watching on screen, and I still think the first movie holds up to this day, personally. I know everybody had their gripes with it, but honestly, I think that just came with the fact that James Cameron is making like 5 of these, and so everybody's kind of just rolling their eyes at it. But Avatar is a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. But I mean, here we are again 12 years later back in Pandora, and everything has just gotten massively better. Like, I mean, of course, right, technology has advanced throughout that time, and 12 years, I mean, of course, everything's just going to look magnificently better. But I mean, calling this stuff beautiful is an understatement. I mean, these characters look absolutely amazing. The avatars look incredible, and it's ridiculous the way that they can honestly match the same. Because I'll use this for an example. When Stephen Lang's character, or when his avatar first shows up, the thing about it is he doesn't necessarily have like his memories and his memories and profile. Like, he doesn't have everything that Stephen Lang has just yet. They have to give it to him. And when the avatar is first shown, it looks like him a little bit, but once they give him the memory, it's like his facial structure completely swapped, and it started to look just like Stephen Lang. I thought that was absolutely incredible. And like all the sights around Pandora, everything, like the trees, the lights, the color schemes, everything is just beautiful. And honestly, you have to see this movie on the biggest screen possible. Look, I'm just as mad as you are that this thing is playing only in IMAX 3D, because I hate the 3D thing. I'm not a glasses on glasses guy, but this movie truly should be seen on the biggest screen possible. I had to watch it in IMAX 3D because that's the only way to experience it. Another thing I hate the 3D thing is for, because I always got the shade on it, and it makes me like feel kind of sleepy. So this is a 3-hour movie, and I'm fighting sleep here. I need the bright colors to keep me alive, or not keep me alive, keep me up. And I got this shade over me, man. But whatever, I put up with it. The 3D was okay. I mean, the 3D was okay. I mean, I'm not really a big 3D guy, like I said, but the movie looks absolutely immaculate. I can't say beautiful. Like I said, beautiful is an understatement to this film. It's actually kind of disrespectful because, like I said, the water, I didn't say the water scenes, but the water scenes in this film are gorgeous. I can't use the word beautiful because I'm trying to say that's an understatement. The water scenes in this film are absolutely gorgeous to look at, man. I mean, everything, all the creatures, everything that they're coming up with, even the robots, the technology that the humans are using, everything's so advanced at this point. I mean, this movie just feels like it's miles ahead of all other, movies that use visual effects right now. And of course, I know that's because James Cameron took the time out to make all of these so grand. But I mean, that plays a big role in why these movies are such a spectacle, man. It's very beautiful to look at. Another thing that I absolutely adored about this movie, Stephen Lang's performance. That dude is a problem in no matter what he's in, man. That Stephen Lang gives his all in this film, and honestly, he was the best performance in the first movie for me as well. Stephen Lang is just incredible. He's a great antagonist, and honestly, he's coming from a different angle, or he's coming from. He's still the same Stephen Lang from the first movie, but he's different because, one, he's in an avatar's body now, and two, he kind of has a different perspective on things. Like there's a key, I'm not going to spoil what it is, but there's a key element in this movie that kind of gives him a different perspective on what's going on, and it kind of helps flush out his character a lot more in this story as well. And he's still a very good villain. I'm trying to catch my words there. He's still a very good villain, and honestly, I was just wowed by his performance, man. Everything he said, every time he was on screen, had to catch what he was saying. He was just incredible. Zoe Saldana, I thought she was a great part of this movie, man. I mean, first of all, she put so much passion into being sad and crying out and making all those I mean, she sounded a lot better than I did, but I mean, that every time she had to scream out for pain and things like that, or just act as if she was sad and give the portrayal of sorrowness, she did an incredible job. Zoe Saldana was incredible incredible in this film. Like she actually blew me away. I didn't expect her to give so much passion in this film. Like honestly, it makes me think that she really cares about this character a lot. Like I didn't think she was going to give her all in this film, but she gave it all out there on this film. I absolutely adored her performance. I'll say this, the action scenes as well. That girl is a problem with a bow and arrow. I mean, like I said, this thing looks incredible. It's the Avatar, when you're watching the Avatars do it, but it looks so graceful. It's like watching gazelles on an 8K TV at Best Buy just run across the screen, and you're just sitting there watching that for hours, and they keep asking if you're going to buy it, but no, I'm not buying that TV. It's too much right now. One day. But anyway, Zoe Saldana did a fantastic job. Honestly, a lot of the performances in this movie were incredible, if I'm being honest. There's one performance that I have to separate because I just got to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about other performances. Sigourney Weaver returns. She was very good in the movie. I'll talk about this for a second too. The way, when I saw that they were bringing back the same characters from the first movie, or at least, you know, very important characters like Sigourney Weaver and Stephen Lang, I was wondering how they were going to handle bringing them back. And I liked the way they handled Stephen Lang's character, because they actually went out and explained how he came back, what he had to go through, blah, blah, blah. He even left a video for himself explaining the process. So we got a whole explanation about how Stephen Lang came back, and that gave his character motivation, and that just moved the story further. And honestly, for the better. But the way they introduced Sigourney Weaver's character, first of all, they use the word mysterious. They say we don't even know. I'm like that's what the movie said. They said it was mysterious and they don't even know how it happened. I'm like, so Stephen Lang, it's a whole scientific explanation, and y'all just saying this is her kid, and somehow, some way, Sigourney Weaver is just playing her. Okay, cool. That's fine. All right. I could look past it because Sigourney Weaver did a phenomenal job in the film. Kate Winslet, Cliff Curtis, they're in the film as well. They're the leader. They're the tribe leaders of the Water Clan. That's what I'm going to call them. The names are too hard to keep track of. This is not Lord of the Rings or anything like that yet. It's too hard to keep track of the names. Haven't revisited Pandora since I haven't watched the first Avatar in like 5 years. So yeah, I'm not good with all the names. But the Water Clan, Kate Winslet and Cliff Curtis are the leaders of that tribe, and they are absolutely phenomenal in the movie. Now, like I said, I'm not sure who played the kids, but the kids did a great job too. But there is a performance that I actually absolutely have to separate. And I'm not separating him due to the fact that he didn't do a good job, but Sam Worthington. And you guys could let me know what your feelings are on Sam Worthington and things like that. My whole thing about Sam Worthington is he's a very mid to average actor, and to many of you, yes, mid and average can mean the same thing, but no, mid and average is above mid in my opinion. Sam Worthington is a very mid to average actor, and the only reason I'm giving him average is because he was in Hacksaw Ridge, and I'm gonna be real with you, he was probably, while he did a very good job in Hacksaw Ridge, he was probably like the 7th best actor in that film. For this to be something that James Cameron is dedicating his life to, and something that he, in my opinion, if you're already planning to make 5 of these kind of movies, you're technically putting your film up there with the blockbusters such as Harry Potter, let's say Indiana Jones, since that's getting 5 movies now, Lord of the Rings, and many of those other franchises like that. Saying your movies, the Avatar films, are going to be blockbuster films such as those. So here's my thing. And this was my issue, not even an issue. This was my question about the first movie. Why Sam Worthington? Why is he the main character? See, I was thinking in this film we would get more of an explanation as to like why he's the main guy, why he's the main lead. And personally, I didn't get it. I didn't get the answer to it just yet. Now, I'll say this. His performance in this movie was a bit more deeper than the first, but that's only because there's a family aspect to this movie that really drives the entire film. So, I mean, he's a family man now. So, I mean, yeah, he's doing a good job as that, but in my opinion, I really don't feel like your main actor or your main guy of this franchise should be getting outacted by almost damn near the entire cast, including the children on set. Like I'm not saying like the youngest kid didn't do better, but the kids that played, like, Sigourney Weaver literally played one of his kids, so she's going to be better than him. Stephen Lang's better than him. Zoe Saldana's better than him. Kate Winslet, Cliff Curtis. Honestly, Giovanni Ribisi even has a quick cameo in the film, and while he's not in it too long, I mean, if he was in it for more than a minute 30, he would have been, in category for it better than Sam Worthington. But I mean, Sam Worthington for me is just, I don't know. Like, I'm still asking myself, why is he the lead? Like, he's not an Elijah Wood. He's not Daniel Radcliffe. He's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's the Terminator. That's a whole other thing. He's not Harrison Ford. I'm trying to figure out, like, he's not a big name, and honestly, the acting hasn't gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I can see why you were chosen for the main lead. I mean, honestly, I feel like Sam Worthington could be replaceable by anybody. I feel like he's just back because he played the lead in the first movie. I feel like they really should have let him act in other things so he can get better and come back to this movie with a stronger performance. Because, look, personally, I just don't feel like you should be getting out-acted by damn near the whole cast. Like if you're going to be the main guy, the focal point, the main character of this franchise, and James Cameron wants it to be as big as it wants to be, I feel like you got to come with a better performance than you did. But I mean, like I said, he didn't do bad, but I just feel like I have to point out the fact that I feel like Sam Worthington is just very mid. He's just not that guy. I just don't really feel like I'm telling you, like, it's just. If you see the movie, you would Stephen Lang literally acts circles around him. It's not even close. Zoe Saldana is literally out acting him in every scene they're in together, which is a lot of them. It's like I'm watching everybody else in the film act, and then Sam Worthington delivers his dialogue, and it's like, oh, he's trying. Okay, cool. He's trying to keep up with everybody else, but everybody else is it's just fitting more. I don't know. Sam Worthington just stands out to me. I don't know. His acting is just not up to par with anybody else's in the film, and that kind of just stood out to me. But like I said, he did a good job. I'm not hating on it whatsoever, and people may have heard that entire rant and said, yeah, no, you're hating on him. But I mean, I'm trying. Look, I don't think Sam Worthington is a bad actor at all. Like I said, he's mid to average. I just don't really see. I'm waiting. What I'm really asking for here is a moment in this franchise, whether it needs to probably be in the next movie, because I shouldn't be asking myself again by the third movie why is this guy the franchise guy? But I just need a moment in the film where he's proving why he's the guy, why he's the franchise guy, like why he was chosen to be the main actor. I don't know. For me, I just want to know why. Because in any other blockbuster franchise, the main guy, you know why. They all have a moment. You see it. You know it, and they all have a moment. So, I mean, why Sam Worthington's got to have one too. But, I mean, that's my only gripe about him. Other than that, look, as far as the rest of this film goes, and while this may seem like I'm going in a direction, this is more so going to the direction of what I didn't like about the film, but honestly, this was a very good movie. I can't necessarily say I didn't like this about the film, but this is the reason why, I'll put it like this. This is the reason why I prefer the first film to this one. The story itself in this film feels a lot very similar to the first, in the sense that, one, we're revisiting Pandora because we haven't been here in 12 years. So we're just in a new setting, really exploring all different, areas of this new world or this new area of Pandora. And we're learning a new way of life, just like we were doing in the first. We were learning how the Notori, I believe that's what they're called, how the Notori lived and things like that, and while Sam Worthington was trying to be introduced to their people. And I thought the first story was a bit more deeper, or it felt, I felt the first story had a bit more depth to it, especially with the fact that, Sam Worthington betrayed those people and things like that. With this movie, it really felt like we were following the same principles as the first, going to a new place, learning a new way of life, being with brand new people, being chased by Stephen Lang. I mean, look, a lot of it all felt very similar to the first movie, and the first movie is very good. Like I said, I'm a big fan of it, so that's why I can't necessarily say this was a part that I didn't like, because I just felt like this story took a step back. Another thing that I actually will applaud the story for doing is something that the first film didn't do, and that's setting things up for actual franchise here, setting things up for things that can happen in the future. That's what now that is something I will say that this movie did better than the first. The first movie, I'm not even sure if they were knowing that it was going to be this big of a hit and he was going to be able to make all these sequels. But the first movie, like I said, did not leave us thinking, okay, we need a sequel, or there's even a possibility of a sequel. I really thought this was the story of Avatar and we'd be set here. This movie, however, plays out the same kind of principal story that the first one did, but it leaves so many subtle hints as to what this franchise can be and what they're planning to do in the future. Like I said, they talk about humans coming here to actually, take over Pandora and give it, make it the new Earth per se and just take it over completely. And they also have, like I said, there's a Stephen Lang storyline where I'm very interested to see where that goes in this franchise. And even the way this movie ends, it leaves you knowing that, you know, they're setting up for something next. Like there's something coming, there's something to expect, and there's something to hope for in this film. And honestly, like, I appreciate that. So the way, like, what I'm trying to say there is basically the story. I prefer the story in the first one because this, like, the second one kind of takes a lot of chunks away from the first film, and like with the love story and all that good stuff. Well, the love story this time is between like one of Jake Sully's sons and one of the Water Tribe girls, but I mean, like, it takes a lot of chunks away from the first story. It just sets up a lot for the remainder of whatever's to come in this franchise, and I appreciate that. Now, I will say, when this movie was over, first of all, like I said, it was 3 hours and 19 minutes. That's a lot to sit through. That's a lot to take in. I mean, there's a lot going on in the film, and that's not like a knock against it. There's just a lot to take in. And when I'm sitting there at the end, by the end of this film, I didn't necessarily leave. I left. I wanted to leave with essentially like a craving for what's next. Like I couldn't wait for the next film. I didn't necessarily leave on like cloud nine per se, but I left more so saying, okay, I'm looking forward to what's next. I didn't leave with the on the excitement level that I wanted to leave on, but that's because I felt like I came in on sky high expectations. The more that I got closer to my showtime, the more excited I got for this film. I'm thinking, oh my God, James Cameron's probably back. This is going to be absolutely insane. And the visuals were definitely up to my expectations. The story, however, fell a little below, but the setup made up for, you know, the setup for what's to come made up for that, because like I said, the first movie just left us with absolutely nothing. But the way this movie ended, no, I'm definitely excited for what's to come. I'm hoping for a better performance from Sam Worthington, but I mean I really enjoyed what happened here. I mean, look guys, overall this movie is absolutely just mind-boggling as far as the visuals go. It's a visual spectacle. It's something to be in awe of, if I'm being honest. Like the achievements that this movie does is absolute. The visual achievements that this movie has made is groundbreaking, and it's something that everybody has to see, like I said, on the biggest screen possible. Now, another thing I do want to say about this movie is I say a good way to describe this movie is James Cameron followed the if it ain't broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it method. Because like I said, the story takes away a lot of chunks from the first film. He just upped the visual effects, made it absolutely incredible for everybody to see, and that's what made this movie $1 billion the first time. So he's really following the same, the same methods he did in the first film. Like I said, he's doing the if it ain't broke, don't fix it method. And honestly, for me, it kind of works. It's kind of cheating at the same time, because I don't know, I was expecting more further advancements. Where I really was kind of disappointed in is the stuff that they touched on in the film that was foreshadowing or alluding to stuff that was going to happen in future films. I thought they would dive into more in this movie, but they kind of just gave us a taste. The main chunk of this film here is the family aspect of this movie, and the Stephen Lang trying to get his revenge, and him and Jake. Well, even though they don't really see each other till almost the end of the film, they don't get like FaceTime. They're in the same areas in some scenes, but they don't actually see each other face to face until almost damn near the end of the movie. But that's kind of what I felt about, how this movie kind of just touched on ideas that I thought would be very interesting for the story. But like I said, they're saving it for later because there's 5 of these things. That's the thing. You got to go into this movie with the mindset that there's 5 of these, and they got a lot of world building to get to, and they got a lot of things to set up to. And this movie, at the end of the day, does have a story that it needs to finish. And so that's why I say it's a lot to take in, but at the same time, it's a movie where I feel like the pacing of it, the first 45 to 50 minutes of this movie, the pacing is intense. I loved everything about the first 40 to 55 minutes of this movie. The middle of it, that's kind of where the pacing gets into the world building part, and that can be very slow depending on how tired you are during the day. I don't know, but I mean, the middle is kind of where, you're getting into more of the story and the characters and things like that, and things are getting flushed out, and you're really discovering parts of Pandora or this new water world and things like that. And the end of the movie, it leads up to the final battle, which is intense and very cool. And the action sequences, all of them, as far as I'm concerned, all the action sequences are really cool, it all just goes into being a big old blockbuster that James Cameron's just very good at making. But like I said, guys, overall this movie is just really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I can't necessarily say it's better than the first. I did enjoy the first story a lot better, but the characters all came back for very stronger performances, except for you, Sam Worthington. I'm just trying to motivate you, bud. You just gotta. It's just painfully obvious when you're in a room with or on set with just much better actors and they're just acting circles around you. But I mean, either way, guys, this was a very good installment in the Avatar franchise. I'm not mad at James Cameron, so I'm glad about that. I'm not leaving saying, oh my god, this guy's full of shit, which, I mean, I could have easily said, like, if you'd have asked me last year about these Avatar films before they gave it an actual release date, I would have said, no, James Cameron's full of crap, because while James, actually, I do have a gripe or whatever, a bone to pick with you, because during Terminator Genesis and things like that, you kept attaching your name on it, making people think it was going to be good, but no, it ended up being complete and total crap. So that's why I was really mad at you, man, because you're messing up Terminator franchises, except Dark Fate. Dark Fate was pretty good, but I'm going to really give the credit to Arnold and Linda for saving that one. And James Cameron, you didn't really... I don't know how much of that movie you had to be involved with or you were involved with, but I mean, that's what it is. But James Cameron is back. I'm glad to say that. I'm honestly looking forward to what's next in this franchise. It's got a lot of things to look forward to, a lot of interesting storylines that can be opened. My mind is intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Like I said, I didn't leave with a craving of it, but for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I am going to give Avatar: The Way of the Water a 3.75 out of 5 stars. Alright, guys, so that's my review for Avatar: The Way of the Water. Did you see it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Let's get a discussion started. What do you think? What's your favorite part of the film? Man, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the more this movie sits with me, the more I definitely enjoyed it. I just can't put it out of 4 just because, I mean, it didn't really hit there for me, but I couldn't give, at 3.5 didn't sit right with me either. Like I said, I let this movie sit with me for a second, and the more I think about it, the more I really did enjoy my time in the theater. It's just... 3 hours and 19 minutes. Whew, that's a lot to sit through. But let me know in the comments below how many bathroom breaks you had to take. Guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff and more, guys. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.